Hello and welcome to another Rivals of Ixalan draft here on the channel. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit differently. We are going to be drafting off stream. So this is just for you folks here on YouTube. Hopefully you enjoy it, and this will probably help me be a little bit more focused, be a little bit more analytical with my play and my decision making. So hopefully this is going to be a little bit more detailed. So let's get right to it. So the pick this pack is going to be Jadelight Ranger. It's just a very good green card. When you play this on turn 3, it gives you a ton of value, and it's also worth pretty much the entire draft. So I think this card is just a very strong card and a very powerful card as well. If you cast this on turn 3, you have you could draw 2 cards sometimes. You can draw a card and scry. It's just very powerful. I think if this card weren't in the pack, I would take Waterknot. And then after that, I do not think I would take Curious Obsession. I think I might gamble on a Legion Lieutenant, perhaps. But I'm going to take the Jadelight Ranger here. Okie doke. So this pack, I could move into green-white with something like an Adzekin Seer, or I could move into blue with a Waterknot. I think these two cards are far and away better than the other cards, but I think I'm going to take the Waterknot here. I don't mind playing blue-green. I think it's a good archetype, and I do not think Adzekin Seer is insane. Like, it's good, especially if you're green-white dinos, but Waterknot's also pretty good. Also, if you enjoy this style of video, the style of video just for the YouTube, be sure to like the video and let me know in the comments section if this is the type of video you would prefer, and I'll make an effort to make more videos just for YouTube instead of stream style. But I'm going to take the Waterknot here. It also keeps me flexible if I can move off of green with this pick, whereas Adzekin Seer, I kind of am committed to playing green-white. Okay, so interesting pack here. So, 2 of the uncommons are missing. Tillinolli Summoner is a card that I have not gotten the chance to play with yet, but I have seen it in play, and it has been pretty interesting from what I've seen. So, when you can get Ascend and make a bunch of 1/1s with an attack, it's pretty good, but when you can't do that, it's like a 2-mana 1/1. So if you're on the defensive, it's not going to be great for you, but if the game goes long and you think you can make like 10 1/1s, it's going to be fine. Tillinolli Summoner could be the pick here. I think it could be potentially quite powerful. But it also is kind of fickle when it's going to be powerful. If it doesn't have a good attack or your opponent is stabilized, it might just do very little, unless the 1/1s could be relevant. Siren Reaver is a card that's probably going to be good. If I end up blue, which Waterknot might indicate that I end up. I'm not going to take an Evolving Wilds as highly. Crashing Tide's another blue card that I do like, especially if I am Merfolk to turn on that instant speed. But I think I'm going to take Siren Reaver here, and as probably the best blue card, and just kind of ignore the Tillinolli Summoner. It could mean that red's open, but then I don't think I'm missing out on a ton. I think the card's good, but not like a bomb level card. I've seen it compared to like the Raptor that you can pay 3 mana to give it +3/+0, and it's the Trampler, the 2-mana one. Suncollared Raptor. I don't think I want the Tillinolli Summoner though. I'd rather solidify myself into one color as well, because it's not just the Tillinolli Summoner. Pack 1, pick 1, I think I might take the Tillinolli Summoner, but because I already have a Waterknot, it gives me a higher likelihood of playing a strong removal spell. Okay, so on to this pack. Daring Buccaneer is a card that is a bit more all-in than I would like to go. I think it's good if you end up in Blue-Red Pirates, but I don't necessarily want to end up there. I think I'm going to take a Sailor of Means here. So keep drafting these blue cards. Sailor of Means can be good. I have a Waterknot, which could mean I'm defensive. Siren Reaver can win in the air while I'm being defensive with Sailor of Means and stuff. And I think I like taking a Sailor of Means here. Especially because I don't have to choose my second color as of yet, and it helps me splash. This pack is a bit weak. Famished Paladin is a good defensive card, so I might take that and end up in blue-white kind of flyers with defensive bodies on the ground. Though I do have a Jadelight Ranger, which I would like to play potentially. But Cherished Hatchling is not an insane card. It's just usually a 2-mana 2/1, which is not a great body in this format. Colossal Dreadmaw is a card that I do like. Mistcloaked Herald can be fine in the right deck, but it's not always insane. I think red might be open because we now see a couple more red cards. I think of these red cards, Buccaneer's Bravado is the most important for the blue-red archetype. So I think we are going to take either that or Famished Paladin, and I think we will eventually settle on Buccaneer's Bravado. We don't really need to move all in on Dreadmaw yet, and I think we'll just hedge into red here, because we have seen several red cards in a row. Now we'll just take Expel from Orazka, stick to blue. There's no card that's so strong it makes me want to move out of the blue for it. Famished Paladin, number 2, could be good if we ended up blue-white. Just trying to read the signal, see what's open. I don't think green is particularly open. That was the first pack that had some good green cards in it. Expel from Orazka, though, is a good blue card. If you end up going a bit longer, you can win the game with a send card value and stuff. Instant speed interaction is also good. Famished Paladin, fine. Martyr of Dusk, fine. I think if you're trying to be defensive, Famished Paladin's a better blocker, so I think I would probably take that for this deck. And then there's Recover. There's a couple more red cards, but we're just going to take the Expel from Orazka. Okay, so late in the pack, there is still a Crashing Tide, which keeps me on blue. Adz Seer Ship has sailed, because I am going to be playing blue for sure at this point, just trying to find my second color. There's another Frilled Death Spitter, which could mean red is open, but I don't think I really want to jump into red here over taking a card like Crashing Tide. I think Crashing Tide is just a good tempo play, and you can sometimes get extra value out of it, bouncing your own creature if it's under an aura or something of that like. I don't think I'm going to move into white just yet for a Sun-Crested Pterodon. I do not think that card is going to... Since I don't already have white cards, I don't think I'm going to jump in. Okay, so now I think the pick is between Soul of the Rapids and Secrets of the Golden City. I do think there was a Soul of the Rapids in my first pack that I opened, so I could just get a Soul of the Rapids in my next pack. I could also take another red card, like a Mutiny, but I think I'm just going to take a Secrets of the Golden City. My deck does not currently have a good plan, like a bomb rare to win the late game, which is something that you pretty much almost always want that in this type of deck, because, I mean, you want the bomb rares in any deck, but in control decks, you really want a way to go over the top, and Secrets of the Golden City is a kind of nice way to do that at common. Okay, so in this pack, there's not a ton. There is a Sun-Crested Pterodon, which is a nice card in blue-white. You can end up with a defensive deck. Mutiny's not really what I'm in the market for right now. There is an Orazka Relic, but I don't really have a ton to ramp into. I think I'm just going to hedge into white as well. I don't think I have the tools to be aggressive blue-red, and I think blue-red pretty much has to be aggressive to be successful. So I think I'm going to take the Pterodon here. And now I think I will take the Relic. I'm not going to play a Cherished Hatchling in this type of deck. I don't have any dinosaurs really, so I'll just take the Relic and maybe it'll make the cut, maybe it won't. Spirewinder's a nice pickup. It's a blue card, it's a flyer. Flyers are good in this format for closing out the game, especially when you're playing defensive cards like Sailor of Means. I can turn on Ascend a bit easier when I have cards like Sailor of Means, and Relic can help me get permanents in play. Awakened Amalgam is not a very good card, and I don't really need Dinosaur Stampede because I'm not playing green. And now I'll just take a Sworn Guardian. It's not insane, it's not great. I hopefully don't have to play it. And now I'll take a Dark Inquiry, and I'll take the Cherished Hatchling. Maybe I do end up playing green in some form. Now I'll take the Raptor and an Island. So as of this point, I'm definitely playing blue, so I'm just going to put all my non-blue cards over here. And I'm going to group my creatures separately from my non-creature spells. But I do like playing blue. It leaves you pretty flexible to go a lot of directions, depending on what I open here. So a pack that doesn't really leave me a ton of directions. There's not a powerful bomb rare. World Shaper's like very medium. It's mostly just a grizzly. I mean, mostly a 4-mana 3/3. Something ogre. No, not gray ogre. 3-mana 2/2. Hill giant. That's what it is. It's a hill giant, pretty much. The upside does not come up an insane amount. I did not see much green that last pack, so maybe I could hedge into Merfolk, but I don't think I really want to be playing Merfolk with the 4-drops I have and with the defensive bodies I have. I could take a Hornswoggle, but I think I'm just going to take the Spirewinder. It's going to be fine in my deck. It's nothing special, but I don't think any of these other cards are really calling out to me. I didn't see any good black cards that last pack, so I don't think Moment of Craving is going to be great. It's not really an insane card to splash. I could also take a land if I wanted to play like splash red, but I think I'm just going to take the Spirewinder as a nice win condition card, kind of like just a flyer. So this pack, the rare is missing, so I don't get a ton of information. There are 2 good blue-red cards. If I had a more aggressive deck, I could start taking those, but I don't think I'm going to get the tools to be aggressive at this point. I could take a Crested Herdcaller and move into blue-green maybe, and have a couple good green cards for that archetype. However, I'm not sure if I will get enough of them for them to be good. going into the draft because I did not see much green pack 1. I saw a couple cherished hatchlings, and that was pretty much it. And cherished hatchling is not an insane card. But I could hedge into green with this pick. I don't think I need another 4-drop necessarily, though I could just take Spirewinder. I think at this point, I don't really want to play black because I don't think it's going to be open pack 3. I don't think green is going to be insanely open, though. And I don't really know what's going to be open from this direction yet because they took a rare, so they could have taken like a green rare. There's a lot of green rares that are pretty good, like Galta and stuff. So I think I'm just going to take another Spirewinder and stick to blue for now. So we're in the same predicament. Don't really want to jump into green. I could play white. I saw a couple of Sun-Crested Pterodons fairly late. There is a Woodland Stream, which would help me play my green cards easier. There's another Spirewinder, which I do not think I'm going to need 4 Spirewinders, though. If we could cast this on turn 2, then 3, then we could just have 4 Spirewinders at that slot. I think Spirewinder is a bit worse than Sun-Crested, but since I don't really want to choose my second color yet, I'll just take another Spirewinder. And Luminous Bond's pretty easy to splash if I do get some Sailor of Means, so I think I'm a fairly high likelihood to play this card, and there's not a blue card to take, and I don't really want to take a Traveler's Amulet before I take a splash card, so I'll take Luminous Bonds. Hopefully I can get back some Gleaming Barriers, because those could be good to stall the ground while I win with cards in the air. Okay, so there's a Soul of the Rapids. There's also a Crashing Tide. I think I'm going to take Crashing Tide. I just would rather... I already have a lot of kind of expensive flyers, and I just want ways to survive and stay in the game until those guys come online. So there's another Awakened Amalgam, but we're not taking that for sure. I mean, obviously not taking that. We could take a Soul of the Rapids. It's just another blue card. We are pretty much mono blue at this point. So I think we'll just take that. There's no reason to jump into a second color right now. And we will... this is... I think Dusk Legion Zealot. This is the card I was talking about, Sun-Colored Raptor, earlier when I was comparing it to the red card. Could take a... I don't think we're really in the market for River Darters. I think we'll just want to get more defensive cards. I mean, 3 mana 2/3 is fairly defensive, but it's not particularly great. We could take a Dusk Legion Zealot. We could take a Moment of Triumph. I think we'll take Moment of Triumph. It gaining us 2 life is pretty relevant, I think, and we are more likely to play white than some of these other colors. Now we could take a Dreadmaw, though I don't know how much we need. A 6-drop, we already have a pretty good aerial force. We could take a Sun Sentinel to just block, or we could take a black card of some kind, though I don't think we're playing black. We could take a Dreadmaw. I don't think we need a Sun Sentinel, though we do kind of need 2-drops, and white is looking like it could be our second color, for sure. Jadelight Ranger. I think we'll take the Sun Sentinel. We just want some stuff to do early if we end up in this color. And now we'll take a Hornswoggle. It's just a counterspell. It's fine. A decent playable. Nothing special. And now a River Darter. Gleaming Barrier is a card that I do like to have access to here because we don't really have a huge incentive to be attacking early, and this guy can just help us survive. And now a Traveler's Amulet. So that's a nice little pickup for us. It can let us maybe... And a Sworn Guardian. So, hey, we got the rare back. If we want to splash Luminous Bonds and play like a different color, we could definitely do that. Now that we have a Traveler's Amulet, we could just run like one Plains. I do like Sailor of Means in this deck in particular because I do have a ton of flyers. I really want to get Ascend so that they become 3/4s because that's my main way of winning the game. And Pious Interdiction may be good, but I don't really necessarily want to splash yet. Though at this point, I kind of just want to pick up Defensive Body so I don't die because I don't really have a ton to do early. So I kind of want to just take the Sailor of Means. It also helps me splash the Luminous Bonds I do have. So I think I'm going to take that over Pious Interdiction and just stick to my guns of blue. And Waker of the Wilds is a bomb rare. I think we can just play blue-green just thanks to the power of this one card. There's no great blue card in this pack to take over it. And we can just play our Jadelight Ranger and play our Waker of the Wilds and win the game like that now. Waker of the Wilds is so strong. So I think that's going to be our plan for right now. We're not going to take a Shining Air Sword. This is the benefit of playing a monocolored deck, essentially, is it lets you do stuff like this. Just choose your color at the very end. So we're going to take Waker of the Wilds here. That was weird. It showed some kind of wacky artwork for a second. Okay, so now it's the choice between Ixali's Diviner, I think, Depths of Desire, and Pious Interdiction. Those are the 3 cards I'm considering here. We could also take something like a Barontodon, because we have a bunch of 1/3s, a couple 1/4s, though it doesn't work with all of our cards insanely well. And it might wheel or something, I'm not sure. I do like Ixali's Diviner as a 2-drop. It lets me find my lands, it lets me survive, and I do want to play a decent amount of forest, because I do need double green for these cards. I could take a Pious Interdiction and also splash that, but I think I just want a Ixali's Diviner to help me survive, though I am not sure on that front. It's close. This card is a good splash. I think since we can splash a lot of the removal we get because we have some treasure makers, we'll just take an Ixali's Diviner here. It does mean we need green mana early, but it's not the end of the world to need green mana early, and it's fine even a little bit later, but we're going to be running this Traveler's Amulet, and we're going to run like 1 Plains, and then we're going to be trying to play like blue-green. So I don't think we want a Shaper Apprentice. We're not really that type of deck. We're much more defensive than that. So I think we're going to take something like a Runaground or maybe even a Cancel. And it's kind of close. We don't have it. We have already got some bounce spells. We don't have a ton of hard removal. We only have 2 pieces of hard removal. And they're not even hard because they don't kill the thing. They just put an aura on it. So I think we're going to take a Runaground here. It's not hard removal, but it's a fine piece of removal. Cancel might wheel, which might make the deck. Okay, so Deeproot Champion probably would be fine in this deck because we do have a lot of non-creature spells. At this point, I don't think we need a Roscar Relic. It's just going to be very medium because we don't have anything to really ramp into with it. I think we will take Prosperous Pirates, though. It's going to be good for helping our splash. It's also just a nice solid body on the ground. A 5-mana 3/4 is a pretty beefy body. So I think we will be taking the Prosperous Pirates. I don't think we need Cobbled Wings. It's just not really what we're in the market for. We could take Kamina Speaker as a 1-mana 2/2. That doesn't sound like the worst. It seems like decent. I don't think we would play it. I don't think we really need that. That's not really what our deck wants to be doing. Though I could see sideboarding it in against super aggressive decks. This is a thing to do early. Shipwreck Looter and Shaper Apprentice don't really interest me. River Dart is not a card I really want to play either. We don't have a ton of Merfolk. We have a couple. Maybe we could take Shaper Apprentice if we need more flyers. It could win the game in the late game. I think we'll take the flyer over the 2/2 that could get blanked later. And I don't think we're really in the market for Jungle Delver. We don't really want Siren's Ruse. I think we'll just take a Cancel here and probably play it, or potentially play it. We're going to have a lot of blue mana. And counterspells are nah, they're fine. We already have a Hornswoggle, though. We aren't really a River Sneak deck. So I think we'll take Cancel. None of these other cards are particularly appealing. Shorekeeper is probably exactly what this deck wants, though. It's a nice little blocker early and a good way to get value late. We still aren't in the market for the Cobbled Wings. Okay, so Commune with Dinosaurs is not really what we want. We have a decent fail rate on it because we can't hit any. We don't have a single dinosaur in our deck. We don't want River Sneak still. We aren't really wanting a Blossom Dryad. We'll just take a Dive Down. It could make the deck. And another Shorekeeper, pretty perfect here. As I said about the first one, we kind of just like that effect. And now Belligerent Brontodon could make the cut on the splash. It's a nice little late game card. And another Shaper Apprentice over Jade Guardian. And Kamina Speaker came back. So, looks like Merfolk was pretty open, at least at the end there. If we'd jumped in a little bit earlier, we would have had a lot more green cards, I think. So now we just have to determine how good Belligerent Brontodon is in our deck. We have 2 Shorekeepers, 2 Sworn Guardians. Oh my gosh, double Kamina Speaker. That's crazy. I don't think we necessarily want a ton of them because we don't really want to beat down because that just kind of mixes the focus of our deck. That's one of the important things to do is to make sure your deck is focused. And our game plan revolves around playing flyers that are hard to interact with, not playing 1-drops and supporting them with beatdown tools. So I don't think we really want Kamina Speaker. I think we'd rather have Shorekeepers. And so we have Diviner, Sworn Guardian, though it is kind of crazy to get two Community Speakers. So we have 2 Sworn Guardians, Ixalan's Diviner, 2 Sailors, and then some miscellaneous stuff. So I don't think we really need the Brontodon. It's just a bit expensive for what it does. I think we will splash Luminous Bonds, though. It's going to be fairly easy to do. So let's group creatures separately, see what we were working with. So I think we can cut Shaper Apprentices, potentially, depending on if... I don't think we are that aggressive. Though, if we play both Community Speaker and both Shaper Apprentices, then we kind of have a nice little beat-down plan going. And we don't have an insane late game, so I could just see cutting some of our more expensive cards and running those. Though I don't think our deck really is built to support them. They're probably just better than Sworn Guardians, though. Like 2 mana, 2/1s that can become flyers are better than 1/3s. Regardless of whether we want to be blocking, these guys can actually trade and they are relevant in the late game. So I don't really think we need Soul of the Rapids. So I think we'll cut that. We don't have any cards that go well with it. We don't have any like synergy pieces. I don't think we need Dive Down. We don't have any auras to buff up our guys. And I don't really think we'll need the combat trick because we aren't going to be attacking a ton. And we do have a ton of spells. I think we'll cut Cancel until we see a bomb because we already do have a Hornswoggle. And we don't really want to run too many counters because if you draw both of them, it can be really bad. They're also awful when you're behind. Secrets is going to be good, I think. Crashing Tide, fine. Water Knot, fine. We're definitely keeping the removal. I don't necessarily think we need Run Aground. We do have 2 bounce spells already and the Expel from Orazka. So this could just be a more expensive version of that. And then we could just run the Traveler's Amulet instead of a land. Or we could cut a Shaper Apprentice, though I think we want some stuff to do early. And then Siren Reaver is pretty much a 4-drop in our deck. We're not really attacking on turn 3 a ton. I don't think we're cutting Jade Light Ranger. I think we're just going to play the powerful green cards we have. Another downside of Community Speaker is it's hard to cast early in our deck because we are going to be running a ton of blue mana sources. So I think we're going to try it like this. I could see arguments for trying to go more aggressive. What does our aggressive plan look like if we run? I mean, we don't have enough 2-drops to be aggressive is the problem. We would run like 2 Community Speaker. We'd run like the Dive Down probably. We could run a Orazka Relic just to help us double spell a bit more often. I could see that being fine. Also helps us get to the City's Blessing by putting a permanent into play. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, 16. I don't think we need it though. Suncrested Pterodon's another interesting card we could consider splashing, though it's just a 2/5 flyer, so I don't think it's worth it. I think this is going to be our build. Orazka Relic is an interesting one to consider. Cancel's an interesting one to consider, but pretty much just playing our excellent card. So we're going to go 10, 5, 1, I think. Maybe that's too many symbols to consider playing Ixalan's Diviner. But we do have double green cards. So maybe we don't want 1 more forest. So we go 9, 6, 1. And run it like that, because we do have 1 green 2-drop, and these guys are both double green. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this draft went. We do have a pretty good late game bomb now. So yeah, now it's just time to see if we can win some matches. We would like to play first, even though we are a defensive deck. We still want to get on the board and do stuff, and we will keep this hand. Gonna lead with Island. No need to show our planes yet. Gonna play another Island. And if he tries to play a 3-drop, we'll probably Hornswoggle most things he could play on turn 3. Okay, Snubhorn Sentry is not a card we're worried about. By the time that's online, we're probably going to have our good cards in play. And now we'll just play a Forest and pass the turn with Hornswoggle up. We don't really need to play our Traveler's Amulet yet because we're not in danger of missing a land drop. And we'd rather keep up a way to counter and not fall too far behind in terms of tempo. And once again, we don't really care that we didn't use our mana efficiently there. We're just going to play our land and run out a Spirewinder. I think we're in fine shape here. If we draw a land, we can Traveler's Amulet and Spirewinder. If we don't, we can just play another Spirewinder. Adds a Seer. Fine card. Okay, so that makes me feel much better about my tap out for Spirewinder play, because even if he plays a scary dinosaur, we can just kill it. So I think we're going to attack, play a second Spirewinder. At some point, we could go Traveler's Amulet, and but then if we hold up 3 mana instead of cracking it immediately, it's very suspicious. So we could go, yeah, okay, so Chupacabra, not the card we like to see. Would have been nice to have a Hornswoggle up for that, but you don't really expect him to be splashing a double black card, so it's not like the worst, not something we could have like necessarily expected. Opponent has 8 permanents. Okay. So I think we are going to play our Traveler's Amulet. Sack our Traveler's Amulet to get a forest. So now we have double green. Play our forest and pass the turn after attacking for 2. We could have held back there, would have been able to block both his guys, but I feel like we just want to be able to like kind of just attack. We don't really want to run into a combat trick. Definitely close on whether to attack there or not. I feel like he might want to tap the Adzakan Seer for mana though. If he attacks with it, I'm probably pretty fine with it. Okay. Hitting me for 2, that's fine. This could mean he's going to tap out for a big spell, which would be good for me. And we will Hornswoggle that. A 3/3 is kind of a threat on this board. Okay. So now we are going to, I think, he has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 permanents, so we can bounce Adzakan Seer, attack, and play our Shorekeeper. We have 4, 5, 6, 7 permanents in play, so this is going to transform soon, and we don't really want to cast this until we can get full value out of it. So we are going to, our only white card is Luminous Bond, so we're going to, we can just tap out of that because we can use a treasure for it if we want to anyway. Bounce the Adzakan Seer, and he could sack it if he wanted to. Okay, that's good. Kind of a nice draw. Go to combat, attack for 2, and play a Shorekeeper, and pass the turn. He's splashing black, a double black card, and splashing a red card. So, important to keep that in mind. I have 8 permanents in play right now. So land Waterknot would turn on my Spirewinder if I'm not forced to use this treasure defensively. And against this deck, we can probably afford to sideboard out some of our anti-aggro cards, like our Gleaming Barrier. So that'll give us a bit of a decent late game. Okay, so playing the Adzakan Seer. So now he has the City's Blessing if he has one more spell he can cast. Okay. Draw, that's a nice draw, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 permanents. So we can land Crashing Tide, a Snubhorn, and hit him for an extra point. I mean, not Crashing. We can, I think we might want to Crashing Tide the Adzakan Seer again. just to keep him off of double colors, and he didn't have a spell follow-up to play that turn, so I think he might not have it again. So I think we're going to lead off with that, the Crashing Tide on this. And we draw Jadelight Ranger. Interesting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I think since he didn't do anything there, we'll attack him for 2. We can't turn on a City's Blessing because we're not going to use our Water Knot. We were waiting to see what we drew in case we drew like a 3-drop we wanted to cast, but we're going to cast this one post-combat. Green, green. Going to use our treasure. Cast Jadelight Ranger. Explore, we draw a land, and I think we will, close decision. I think we'll keep it on top, because we're going to have the City's Blessing next turn, and it's going to be a 2/1 flyer because of our Jadelight Ranger. And then we have a couple other merfolks we could draw. Looks like he's just going to, he's going to Pious Interdiction. That's fine for us. We can expel from Orazka our own guy if need be. Draw, okay. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So playing this land gives us the City's Blessing. And then I think we are going to I think we'll draw 3 to start. We do have a couple blue cards, and we have only double green cards left in our deck. We have the Waker, which we can't even play with this mana, though we could play the Waker. So it's interesting how we want to tap. I don't think we have anything we want to Luminous Bond, so I think we're going to tap like this and draw 3 like that, and before we decide on our further course of action. Prosperous Pirates is a nice draw. I already played a land this turn, though. So now I think I'm going to play my Shaper Apprentice and pass the turn without attacking, because I don't really want to trade my Jadelight Ranger for a Chupacabra because it's a 3/2 for a 2/2, and it's going to eventually trade with a Snub Hornet Sentry, I think. And then I can start attacking him for 2 in the air. End of turn, if I want to, I can bounce my own Spirewinder, and then I can replay that next turn. But I think I'm going to take the defensive line here. He does have 5 cards in hand, and he has a couple Snubhorns that are going to become threats. But if he starts attacking with Snubhorns, I can attack him back. Also, my Prosperous Pirates is a good blocker against Snubhorns. And I don't mind trading off a Jadelight Ranger for a Snubhorn Sentry, though that means it will lose flying. Okay. So I'll block here and here because, okay, so I won't block like that, I guess. I'll trade off one of them and take 3. Opponent has an ambitious mana base. Playing the Adskans here, he can get back Snubhorn if he wants. And one of the reasons I traded off the Jadelight Ranger is because it's not really doing anything productive on the ground. It's not going to attack into his Chupacabra, really. And now I think I will bounce my own Spirewinder. Hand. And because it's just going to be a pretty big body here. So this thing's going to get to draw me a card very soon. So I'm going to play my Forest here. Then I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 8 mana total, so I can play this and Spirewinder. Prosperous Pirates. Spirewinder. So now I have a couple 3/4s which are just good at blocking Snubhorns. So maybe it was incorrect to block the Snubhorn the last turn. I could have just taken 3 and they would have been effectively blanked. Captivating Crew, that is a frustrating card. Very strong, I think. Jungleborn Pioneer, a fine card. So Captivating Crew is going to be a problem. I don't have a way to kill it in my deck. Okay, so this guy draws me 3 cards for 8 mana, so I have 8 mana right now. And then I could play land Ixalan's Diviner. I think I would rather do this at instant speed though. So I can block first. Because there's not a more relevant 2-drop I'm going to draw. So I think I'll play Ixalan's Diviner before I play my land. Just so I have more information. I'll keep the Spirewinder on top. Play land. Go to combat, attack him for 3 in the air. And pass the turn. Did I not play my land? No, I did play my land. And 3 cards is a lot of cards. Opponent can steal 2 of my guys for a big attack here. But if he does so, I might be able to kill him on the crackback. And I do not mind trading off Shaper Apprentice for any 2-drop. I mean anything with 2 toughness. So this is for 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to block for 3. And I'm going to block this. And I think these are my block. Let me think. So if he has +2/+2, using on this doesn't affect me. Using this on this does kind of bother me. I would like to have him a blocker. If I block like this, then I take 5. I would go to 10. Next turn he can double activate and maybe just kill me. I think I'll just take the 1 damage, and if he has a pump spell, he has a pump spell. So that's kind of a... So if I block like this, I'm going to draw 3 more cards. One of them is a Spirewinder. I can hit him for 3 next turn. So this is, I'm taking 3 damage this way, and then next turn I would take another 3 damage if I block the same. So this is going to deal an extra damage over that course of time. So if I block this, I take 5, I go to 10. Then next turn, this is dead. I still have this guy. I'll have another Spirewinder and probably another creature in play. He'll take the Spirewinder. He'll take 2 Spirewinders, say, and hit me for 3, 4, 5. Because I'll have Prosperous Pirates to block this guy. So he'll hit me for 3. I think this is fine. He'll hit me for 3, 6, 9. So I may have to use a removal spell. But I'll also have Ixalan's Diviner to block. So I like this play. Perfect. A couple removal spells is what I like to see. Cherished Hatchling, not really a problem for me. Gleaming Barrier, also not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to be fairly aggressive with my removal here. Ooh, another Shorekeeper. So I'm going to definitely play my island. Definitely attack with my Spirewinder. Play my Spirewinder, play my Shorekeeper, and I think I'm going to Luminous Bonds the 3/3. I don't think he's attacking with Captivating Crew. Let's see if I have the mana to do that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have definitely got 8 mana in play. Alternatively, I could keep Luminous Bonds for the future. Tapping could be... Where would I rather have tap than can't attack or block? There's not really a scenario I can think of. So I might just want to, it doesn't really matter which one I use, I guess. There are untapped tricks, so I guess Luminous Bonds is slightly better. So first I will tap 4 for my, first I'll attack him. Play Spirewinder. Then I'll play Shorekeeper. Then I'll play Luminous Bonds. Then I'll pass turn. I guess I could also Water Knot and Adzakan Seer. Man, I should have considered that. So if I Water Knot Adzakan Seer, then it can't tap for mana, and he can't double activate this. Maybe that would have been just much better. He could have sacrificed it to get back a creature. But if he takes back two of these guys, attacks with his team, he would actually probably take these two. Attack with the team. This is going to be tapped if he does that. So he'll have 5 attackers. I can go block, block, or block, block, or whatever. Take 10 exactly, so I would end up having to chump block. Captivating Crew. But if he does that, then I kill him. And I don't die. Because I have the Water Knot for his Gleaming Barrier. So I guess I probably should have Water Knotted Adzakan Seer. That's a potential line, though that might just be too cute. Because I don't die to him double activating Crew. Because he'll have to tap the Adzakan Seer so it can't attack. Definitely a close play for sure. And if he does do that, he's going to be tapped out. So, or he could then sacrifice this. If he has a Plains, he could then sacrifice Adzakan Seer and get back a Snubhorn Sentry for an extra blocker. But he could just be tapped out if he does that. Okay, so he's going to go for it, it looks like. But if my math is correct, then I do not die. He may think he could live because I only have 7 power. If he can just block Prosperous Power to Gleaming Barrier, and then I would only have 7 power. So he might think he can live. If he does this, so if he goes all out, I'll use my Water Knot on the Gleaming, I'll use Water Knot on the Gleaming Barrier, and then my Prosperous Power can get through. If he has another Plains, though, which doesn't look like he has, oh, he's taking that guy. I think that's probably a mistake. Because this is a blocker, so it represents more if he does that. Okay, so that's his plan. That makes sense. Okay. He's just going to try and kill me with my own flyers. Oh, that was a great draw. Okay. So, I'm going to attack him with both my flyers, or maybe I just attack him with one flyer, though he'll just take them both. I think I want to Water Knot this guy for sure now, so he can only activate once. That just takes a lot of the pressure off. So if I attack him with both my flyers, any of my flyers are lethal. He doesn't have a land in hand. I do not think. This is a kind of an interesting play. So I don't think I have enough. I won't be able to activate Shorekeeper because this is 8 mana. So this is 6, 9, 10. So I will have 11. So it's not enough to activate Shorekeeper. So I am going to cast Water Knot and Siren Reaver this turn. The question is whether I attack with both Spirewinders, because I don't want to attack with anything else for sure. If I attack with 1, he goes to 5, and then any 2 of my flyers are lethal. I don't think he has any removal spells for him. So he would be able to take my Spirewinder. He would attack me, take one of my Spirewinders and attack me with it, is what his play would be. If I attack with 1, then he goes, or I could attack with none. I feel like I either attack with both or attack with none. And I'm definitely Water Nodding Ixalan Seer, I think. Maybe I should consider no, I'm not gonna do anything with the Gleaming Barrier and then attack like with all my guys. That doesn't do much, because then he would just jump there, block there, take 6. He still has this, which is lethal on its own. So I can't do that. So if I Water Knot the Ixalan Seer, then he doesn't have double red mana to take 2 of my guys and kill me. So I'm definitely doing that. If I attack him with both Spirewinders, he goes to 2. I then have 1 flyer that he takes and attacks me with. If he had a combat trick, I think he might have used it already, though I'm not sure. He probably would have. I think he probably would have attacked with more things, though I'm not sure about that. If I had, so if I attack him with 1 Spirewinder, I then have 2 flying blockers. He can only take 1, so I then at least get to block. So he'll take my Spirewinder, and I can jump with Siren Reaver, and then hope he doesn't have removal for either of my Spirewinders. If I don't think that's as good. I don't think he has a pump spell. I think him having a removal spell is more likely, because then if he has a removal spell, I just lose. So I think I'm going to attack with both. And that's going to be my line. And he doesn't kill me if he takes my other stuff, because he can only take 1 thing. So he'll have to take the flyer, maybe. And he only has 3 attackers. 4 attackers if you include the flyer, but I have enough blockers. This has been a crazy game. So we're going to Water Knot the Ixalan Seer, so he can't tap it for mana. And then we'll play Siren Reaver. And then we'll pass the turn. So he wins if he has a pump spell. But I now have, or if he has another red mana source. I think. Yeah, if he has another red mana source, I'm dead too. But if he doesn't have if he just has creatures, I win. And he didn't have a removal spell last turn. So I think I could potentially win this game. Removal spell wouldn't necessarily do it unless he has enough mana to also activate Captivating Crew. Definitely an interesting game. I am a bit low on my clock, but I think it was important to think out all those lines. And I think I'll be able to sideboard pretty effectively against him, because I do have a bunch of cards that are better in non-slow matchups, and I'm still planning to win with flyers and stuff. But I can take out my Gleaming Barrier, for instance, because that's not going to be as useful against him, because he's also planning to go late with like Snubhorn Sentries. So I'm probably going to take out some of my cards that are for the aggro matchups, and then I'll try to save Hornswoggle for Captivating Crew, and maybe I can also use Cancel, bring in Cancel. But this has been a crazy game. Let's see what he does. He's probably thinking through the math too. He can take this, hit me for 3, I go to exactly 1, then I can kill him with any of my flyers. If he has removal spell, he can use removal on Prosperous Pirates. And then he can't beat pretty much anything. If I had a bounce spell, I would win. Like if it was an instant speed bounce spell. He also, if he has a removal spell, it has to be relatively cheap. It can't be like if it's like a Savage Stomp, he could use it for 1 mana on this, but if it was a Hunt the Weak, he could use that, but then he wouldn't have enough mana to also take my flyer. So I think I would still win in that scenario. So yeah, I tanked against him, and now he's tanking against me. It's been a very thought-provoking game. He said close one in chat. Mayhaps we have a victory. Water nut was all you needed. I don't know if he's salty. I think I won that one though, folks. Very close game. Okay. Taking my Prosperous Powers. He's going to go for the all-out attack. Make me block. Or maybe he has lethal and he was messing with me. This way we don't lose to Aggressive Urge. Yeah, we'll block like this. Tapped 3 mana to see if I'll concede in response. I mean, after the stuff he sent me in chat, I expected to win there. Crazy game, though. Okay, so what do we want? I think the Hexproof Flyer could be good. Run Aground could be good. Cancel could be good. Also, we could bring in a Dive Down, perhaps, but I don't think that's as good because we only saw like a Papyrus Interdiction. So what seems bad in the matchup? We don't really need our anti-aggro card, Gleaming Barrier. He's not really putting a ton of pressure. I think our Shorekeeper and our Ixali's Diviner will be enough in the early game. We don't have really a ton of Merfolk, so I think we will take out our Shaper Apprentices. They did get kind of blanked in the matchup, I think. And he's not particularly aggressive. So that leaves us some slots. I think we'll bring in Soul of the Rapids. He didn't really have a good flyer defense, it didn't look like. We'll bring in Cancel, and I think we'll bring in Run Aground. And we'll run it back like that. I think that'll be fine. We have 3 early plays still. Maybe with more expensive cards we want a Relic. Or we could bring in Brontodon for just a big beefy guy. But I think we'll be fine with this configuration. Because he had a couple Snubhorns. We saw multiple Snubhorn Sentries. We saw the 2/3. I don't think we really want Dive Down against Chupacabra. That was like one of the best cards we saw. Because that's still he still gets a 2-for-1 with that. We'd rather have a Cancel for Chupacabra if we can. Okay, fine hand. Soul of the Rapids is a nice threat in this matchup. So we'll keep. Sorry, that was just bugging me. Okay, perfect. So now we have our planes too. Or we could get double green. Probably going to get our second green mana. We don't really care about taking a couple hits from a Cherish Hatchling. Because we have a Hornswoggle, we don't really need to worry about taking a couple, about getting our planes. So Sailor of Means would be an excellent draw here. Ravenous Daggertooth, okay. Forest. I don't really want to spew any removal here. He doesn't have mana for Captivating Crew. I could just Water Knot this, but I think I'll just take 5 and see what I draw. I can also Hornswoggle something that's potentially scarier. Like an Adzakan Seer is a good card for a Hornswoggle to hit here because it hurts his mana. I just need 1 Sailor of Means to stabilize, though. Bleeding Barrier is not a card I care about. Okay. That's a good one. So we'll play our Forest. And then I think we will take another 5, go to 8, and then either Hornswoggle or we will run aground end of turn. And then untap, cast something relevant. I guess we'll do it mid-combat to save 3 damage. Because if he has Chupacabra, then he can't really cast that very well. He doesn't have red mana, so he can't cast a lot of stuff because of that. Profane Procession. That's unfortunate. Soul the Rapids being hexproof is kind of nice against that. But I do not know how we're going to beat this card. We have to draw our Expel from Mrazka and our Cancel in the next couple turns. Currently, the damage race is not favoring us because we took so much early aggression. But Profane Procession is a bomb rare. Not going to block. Our 3/2 guy is pretty important. So he's out of gas, but he has Profane Procession, so it's going to be rough to win this one. Probably going to have to Water Knot his Ravenous Daggertooth. Blossom Dryad, okay. Or we could Water Knot that. So we're going to Water Knot Blossom Dryad. Attack for 3. We are on a 5-turn clock and we have him on a 7-turn clock. Then we'll have to try and save up mana to double spell. Because we're going to Hornswoggle his Ravenous Daggertooth. Gleaming Barrier is pretty useless this game, which is nice for us. So he's going to try and cast the Daggertooth, I think. I mean, it's probably good for him if it gets countered anyway, so. I can't see a scenario where he doesn't cast it, though. Maybe he's trying to outplay my Hornswoggle. Oh, he's trying to hold up this. That's what it is. Perfect. So now he might have to waste his... Okay, so we're going to play land. So we have 7 mana, so we can play this and a Firewinder. Attack for 3. So we can play Sailor of Means and Spirewinder, but then he just exiles, untaps, exiles, and we're back to square one. I think we want to set up a turn where we can Waker of the Wilds and make a land creature thing. Profane Procession replaying our guys is also going to be annoying. So he's just going to keep holding up this because he is winning the race currently. If I play Sailor, it means he'll just take it. But I think that's fine. Because we do want to get the treasure out so we can like double spell more easily. And if he doesn't want to take a Sailor of Means, then we're also fine. Okay, sure. We could also trade off our guy for a Cherished Hatchling if we don't find another way to deal with it. So if I play Waker, that land will have haste. So 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So I can make a 2/2 haste creature. So I hit him to 11. I hit him to 9 if I make the 2/2 haste creature. And then, because I have him currently, he's on a. So I hit him with for 5, he goes to 9, and then he dies in 3 turns. I think I'll play some draw go against him. I think I'll just stay at 5. I don't think I found a way to win the race. Trading 3 for 2 is not going to work anymore. Have to stop attacking. I still do have a bounce spell for Profane Procession. I can put it on top of his deck if I draw my Expel from Murozka. We'll Hornswoggle it. Getting the extra treasure is nice. Makes our Waker guy a bit bigger. Adds Canseer. That's great for me. He's not holding up Profane Procession. Okay. So I can Shorekeeper, Spywinder, and Waker, and then he can only exile one of them, which will undoubtedly be Waker. How many? I have 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands. So I have enough to do it all. He'll exile my Waker. He can actually use Waker relatively effectively, but I just have to try and kill him before that's a thing. I just have to draw my bounce spells, I think. So I'm going to go. So we'll play our Spirewinder. This will make sure we have a send before I start sacking my treasures. Shorekeeper. So we now have a 3/4 flyer. We kind of deployed our hand. I'm at 5 minutes, so I'm going to have to play a little bit faster. Or I stand the risk of not being able to finish game 3. So now I just have to hope my Shorekeeper finds me gas. He's going to be able to exile my Waker, and next turn exile my... Yep. Martyr of Dusk. That's not really a card here. Does this come back unexiled? Ugh. So I think I'm going to play my attack with Spirewinder and then pass and just try and draw cards with Shorekeeper. Because I do need to find like my Crashing Tides to bounce my own stuff. And now I'm going to play a bit faster, so hopefully I don't make mistakes, but I'm at 5 minutes, so I'm 3 minutes behind on the clock. I go to 3. I draw 3 cards. Yep. He exiles it. Play a Prosperous Pirates. Then I'll play Spirewinder. And pass. Still haven't found the bounce spell that I wanted. Journey to Eternity, that's unfortunate. So now I guess I'm going to take the hit for 2 and go to 1 and Luminous Bonds it. Maybe I don't really care. I'll take it. I'm looking for a bounce spell still. Play Spirewinder. Play Spirewinder. Luminous Bonds that guy. Pass the turn. Because otherwise he can bring this guy in. I guess he can just bring in a guy to block my dude, and I can't afford to attack with multiple dudes because otherwise he'll just end of turn Waker and then make a land and attack past me because I'm at 1. I have no decision, so I'm just going to yield to save time. I need to find a bounce spell. That's my out. Oh, Chupacabra. Now I'm not in great shape here. Still a bounce spell would be nice. Crashing Tide, my own Spirewinder, play it. Luminous Bonds. Not great. No attack. Ah, Captivating Crew. Yep. Been some crazy games. Okay. So we're down on the clock, but whew, gotta try and win this game 3. So dive down could be fine to counter a pious interdiction. Also to counter an activation could be fine. Maybe we want another cheap guy. Probably want another cheap guy. And run aground doesn't seem amazing. A lot of his guys have ETB effects. It's just going to stall stuff. I don't really need this Shaper Apprentice, I guess. I do have 2 Shorekeepers. Ooh, time to just play quickly and win the match, hopefully. 2 very, very long games. He definitely has a lot of powerful cards in his deck. Can we win with our control deck in 3.5 minutes? I think we can. Mulliganing that hand pretty easily, and we're going to keep this hand. It's rough. We'll keep that on top. It doesn't have exactly what we want, but Raptor Companion. I don't think we're going to bounce the Raptor Companion. We have better things to be doing with our mana and our bounce spells. We also have like Sailor Means that kind of just blanks it. Snubhorn, yeah. Kind of a nice draw there. We'll play our Waker. We haven't seen any hard removal from this opponent, so getting Waker down could be a nice way to win the game. Definitely not trading. Next turn we can hold up a land, animate a land to be a 1/1. But that could be a bit spewy with our lands. Okay, so we're just going to pass the turn. He has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 permanents in play, so this thing could become a threat. But we're going to make a land into a 3/3. Okay. What are you going to buff? Okay. Hmm. Oh, I chose the wrong land. That was a mistake. I also missed buffing it by 1. Hmm. Yeah, I needed to trade last turn. Sure. I also mistapped. So if I traded with that last turn, I'd be at 9 here. Jeez. That's game. Unfortunate. Oh, he had a perfect hand. I think he sideboarded into green-white aggro, maybe. I don't even know. So what happened there is, first of all, I only had a minute, so I tapped poorly. But what I was trying to do was I was going to animate this land block there. So then I would have been at 9. And then next turn next turn Luminous Bonds this. And I have this land's dead still. So next turn Luminous Bonds this. And I keep up the mana to make another 1/1, so I could then make another guy. It was going to be a rough game, though. I kind of flooded out in terms of the spells I could cast. I only drew 3 spells the whole game, and he kind of curved out perfectly with his 4-color deck. So I think he sideboarded into an aggro deck. Anyway, yeah, the sideboard was very good from him because I sided out all my anti-aggro cards because of the way the games had been playing out. So I don't think I could have won that game because of the way it played out. But if I had bounced on turn 3, if I'd bounced his Raptor Companion, I might have been able to win. Because that card hit me for like 9. So if I'd bounced this, he wouldn't have been able to curve out on me as easily. That was probably because I was rushed. I'll just go back to my base configuration though. So if I'd bounced the Raptor Companion, definitely an interesting decision. I also had to mulligan that last game too, so I didn't get to have an ideal hand. We're going to have to mulligan this one. We're going to keep this though. If I'd bounced that Raptor Companion, it would have hit me for like 10 less damage. We're going to put that on top. Play our Traveler's Amulet. Next turn we can then Shorekeeper plus Amulet. It's not really relevant which one we play first. Because, like, I guess you could have, like, play a Nest Robber. So I guess it would maybe correct to play Shorekeeper first. I don't need to play as fast as I was playing, so. Now I play Shorekeeper, and I think I'm supposed to get another island here. Because Sailor Means can get my white splash going. Another island unlocks secrets. And Water Knot. Man, so last match, that was crazy. If I bounced the Raptor Companion, maybe I just had to, because then I never had it. Because I didn't bounce it because then I drew the Waker. If I had the Waker in my hand, I think I would have bounced it. But because I didn't know what I was going to draw, and I do have like all Spire Winders in my deck, so maybe that's just the correct play. To save myself from taking 3 the next turn. We're just going to Secrets here, draw 2 cards, hope to find a land. And we whiffed. Unfortunate, but Better than just drawing those cards. Did I Quartermaster? I wonder what he's going to go get. Yeah, I wonder what if I... Oh, Captain's Hook is great, but it's not very good against Crashing Tide. Okay. Play a Spirewinder. So I guess bouncing the Raptor Companion was probably the correct play. I'm sorry for going back to the last match, but this one's kind of nothing's happening. I'm just casting basically the obvious spells each turn. If I'd cast casting the bounce spell is probably correct because first of all, it makes it so I don't get hit for 3 a couple turns, and it gives me more time to set up and draw cards to get out of it because I had like nothing going on in my hand, and I hadn't seen any auras before. So now I'm going to go land. I'm going to play Prosperous Pirates to turn on Ascend for 4 combat, and then I'll attack him. Though, yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I wouldn't have had it if I didn't play the pirate. So if I bounce, because all of my like 3 drops get wrecked by the Raptor Companion. Raptor Companion is just really good against my deck, post board especially. So I probably should have just bounced it. That was probably a mistake. So I'm just going to wait for him to hook up something and then I'll kill it with a Crashing Tide. Firewinder. We're not going to run out our Apprentice yet. It doesn't do anything on this board. It can't block. It can't attack, really. Sea Legs, sure. Still hitting him for 1. I guess we have 2 Sailor of Means. That was the card I was thinking of in particular when he had the Raptor Companion. But we didn't have any of those in hand, and Raptor Companion goes through Shorekeeper and everything, so okay. Back to this game. So we were just saving our Crashing Tide, so now that if he equips something, we'll take the hit, Crashing Tide, kill it. Play our Shaper Apprentice, and then we can Crashing Tide at instant speed, potentially. Yep. Sure. I don't really want to double block when I have such a free Protean Raider, you say. So, Crashing Tide. Because the Captain's Hook unattaches, he ends up sacrificing it. Oh. That's... Oh, I guess maybe I have to bounce to... I can't... Either way, that's not how I wanted that to go. So now we're going to Water Knot his Flyer. So, yeah, that was the... Yeah, I guess he can't sacrifice it if it's in his hand. I know if you naturalize the Captain's Hook, then it kills it. But yeah, that was a bad play. I didn't know how that worked, I guess. Captain's Hook is kind of an interesting effect. So I have him on a 4-turn clock. I have a Hornswoggle up. I have Crashing Tide for next turn. I think I'll Hornswoggle his Prosperous Pirates, though, because he'll probably tap out for it. This costs only 1 to equip, though, so he can still attack. Then I'll just double block. So this will have 8 toughness combined. So if he has +2/+2, if he has a bounce spell, it's not great for me, but I mean, he's just trading his bounce spell from one of my creatures then. If he has +2/+2, if he has Divine Verdict, this is really bad. This is only really bad against Divine Verdict, though. And I feel like he might have used it against my 3/4 flyer if he had it. But maybe he's just going for the good play. So we will Hornswoggle if he tries to play another Prosperous Pirates. That'll leave him tapped out. So I now have enough to activate my Shorekeeper. However, I think I will attack, play my Shaper Apprentice, and hold up Crashing Tide at instant speed. Maybe I just want to draw 3. I'll draw 3. That seems better. And then I can't cast my white spells then, but Commander's Awakening, sure. The game is going to be over before that's relevant. I don't want to lose my Sailor of Means, really. I could have, like, double blocked and then sacrificed my Shorekeeper, and he just eats my Sailor of Means. I don't really like chumping, though. Oh, that's what I wanted. I think that makes him sacrifice it. I really don't know. Okay, so let's think. So I can Jade Light Ranger. I have 8 mana. So I can Jade Light Ranger, that's 3. Sailor and Shaper. No, and expel the Commander's Awakening. I think I might just want to save my bounce spells for in case he has a flyer. Jade Light Ranger. Top. I like having a backup flyer just in case. Play my Shaper Apprentice. And then I'll hold up Crashing Tide and expel from Maraska. Also, my Jade Light Ranger can also kill him because it's a 4/3. I'll let him draw an extra card here. I didn't really want to expel the Commander's Awakening to the top of his deck. Baffling End. Targeting what? Jade Light Ranger? Yep, I don't really care. All I care about is if you can kill my flyers, friend. And I still have Shaper Apprentice to make this castable with Flash. Sure. I'll end of turn Crashing Tide the Gleaming Barrier. This way, if he has like a Divine Verdict, he doesn't, or one bounce spell, I can just attack everything and kill him. Negate, okay. So if he has Slash of Talons, you know, he needs to have a lot of stuff here. I'm just going to hold my bounce spell. Because either one of my ground creatures getting through alongside my 3/4 flyer is lethal. And if he does have a, okay, so he has that. I'll expel from Maraska this to kill him. Whew, on to game 2. So he's playing blue-red. We saw Protean Raider. No, he's playing blue-white, splashing the Protean Raider. That's what it was. So we could bring in Cancel. I don't think we want Cancel, really, though. We could bring in Dive Down. That doesn't seem insane. Soul of the Rapids could be interesting. Hard to interact with. I think we'll take out a Shaper Apprentice. He doesn't seem insanely aggressive. He was playing Prosperous Pirates. He was splashing stuff. I don't think we really want Cancel in this matchup. Okay, this is a good hand. We have our 2-drop. We have a little bit of bounce value. And the sideboard tech coming in hot. Just going to play our Ixalan's Diviner here. No, nothing really to consider. No reason to not play it. There's no Essence Scatter in this format. And even if there was, I would just be happy if he Essence Scattered my 2-drop. Okay, drawing lands is good value off this. We do have good ways to use our lands in the late game with Double Shorekeeper. Siren Lookout, a bit annoying. Admiral's Order. Mills it. Feels bad to potentially give him more explore value, so I don't really want to bounce that. Yeah, now I can just play my Sailor of Means happily. Storm Sculptor. Storm Sculptor is a good card to bounce, though, because it's just a ton of positive tempo for me. Oh. I'd rather save the Expel because I am going to get to a City's Blessing this game. I think I'm going to save Jadelight Ranger too. And just Crashing Tide this. Though I guess it doesn't make a difference when I Crashing Tide it, it's still great tempo for me. Though I think it's better when he has nothing out. Tough play, actually. So I'm almost definitely playing Forest here. The question just becomes, do I bounce Storm Sculptor? I get in 1 point of damage, so it's 1 point of damage, bounce Storm Sculptor, draw a card, and he has nothing, and it's going to take him forever to replay the Storm Sculptor. I think I'll just play my Jadelight Ranger. Don't need a Sailor, it means I'm going to put it in the graveyard. I don't really want a bluff attack there. You could have like a haste guy I want to deal with, or I don't know, probably not many haste creatures I care about that my 3/2 isn't going to block anyway. Yep, I'll take it. Bounce spells against Storm Sculptor are just great. But it's much better to have a clock when you're using bounce. If he plays... Oh. So I could expel my own thing, but I think I'll just let it happen. So if he hits a land off this, then my 3/2's fine to attack through it. Perfect. Just going to play my Soul of the Rapids past the turn. I have 6, 7, 8, 9 permanents, so I'll have the City's Blessing next turn if I want to use my Expel from Araska on something. Captain's Hook. Oh, nice. If I expel Captain's Hook, does he have to sacrifice it? I think so. 5 unblockable. Yep. Just says destroy that permanent, so I feel like that would work. If I bounce Storm Sculptor, he plays it next turn, bounces this. I'm just gonna take the slower line, and I'll keep up double blue because I do have, and I won't keep up green. I'll bounce Storm Sculptor. It's a bit of a, it does give him another explore trigger. Interesting, okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This will make him sacrifice his Storm Sculptor. But it does mean he'll put on this now. But I couldn't block the Storm Sculptor anyway. So now I need to hope he doesn't have, like, now I need to hope I find a removal spell because I'm on a 3-turn clock. Though he's almost on a 4-turn clock. Prosperous Pirates. That's not good, because now he can just recast the hook. Oh, that was a good draw. Keep attacking for 3. Whoa. He must have something. Okay. So he has Hook as his last card. Tough decision. So do I want to Water Knot the Siren Lookout? Or this? I don't think I'll ever be able to get 2 flyers to block this, even though I do have a ton of flyers. And if I do, then it's going to have 3 power. It's a 3-powered flyer with Hook. And this is a 5-powered attacker with Hook. I can trade with this, though. And then there's a top deck war. So he's hitting me for 3 a turn. I'm hitting him for 4 a turn. If I wait, he'll probably play Hook, equip, attack me for 3. And then I can make him sack the creature, which doesn't really matter. So I think I don't want this to hit me for 5. Like I can double block that to jump block it. But I'd rather not get hit for 5 this turn. I'm at 10, so that's half my life. Yeah, the Hook. Yep. And I do have flyers that could help me double block this, like a Spire Winder would do it. Boom, there we go. So I'm dying in 3 turns. If I hit him like this, he goes to 13. Yeah, I'll just play my Spire Winder. He would go to 13, 12. He would go to 12, and then I would hit him for 7. So I'd kill him in 3 turns. Oh no. Wow, that's so bad for me. Hmm. Yeah, that's horrific, actually. Cancel was a good draw for him there. We keep on drawing. Attack with our Sailor and our Soul. So we have him on a 4-turn clock. Obviously, if he draws something, like literally anything pretty much, it's no longer a 4-turn clock and we're in danger from Captain's Hook. Looks like he may have whiffed for a turn. We respond with the whiff. The counter whiff. Gonna keep up the pressure if we can. Hopefully he has nothing. And looks like he does. Oh, rats. Brutal. That was not a whiff. That was a great draw. And we are in very bad shape now. That was a masterful demystify. No way I'm playing around that card ever. But that was destructive. That was horrific for me. So, yeah, 3 nice draws there. I did draw the Luminous Bonds, to be fair. That's the game. So, Run Aground seems much better now that I know about that card. Gleaming Barrier probably bad. Though it does block Prosperous Pirates. Shaper doesn't really seem to do anything. Pretty much just G-Man 2-1 for defensive purposes. We'll keep this hand. Leading with Island versus Forest doesn't really matter. We're going to play Ixali's Diviner on turn 2. Then turn 3 we can look for whatever land we need depending on what we hit here. Change of plan. We're going to... no change of plan. We'll just still play Diviner, give ourselves more information. Oh, that's such a sad card, but we have to mill it. We just need to hit lands for our Waker to be good. Boom, that was great. So we'll attack for 1 first of all. Also, now that we know he has Demystify, Waternaut's not as good. Obviously, it's still going to be pretty good, but... Play a land in Shorekeeper. Then I will search for a... We have our only white card in our hand, so I think we're going to get an island, so we have double blue. And we know he has Admiral's Order and Cancel in his deck, so we don't want to slam this into open mana. Though we will slam it now. So I guess double blue cards are probably a higher priority. So I think our only double blue card was this Waternaut, and then we have a Secrets of the Golden City. So I guess we can just get planes. Though I guess Island's probably better. If we draw Secrets and want to hit our lands, that's better, probably better. I wonder if he'll block. Worth a shot. If we had like an aggressive urge or something, we'd wreck him, so he might not block in that scenario sometimes. We're going to slip in our Waker of the Wilds under the counter magic. So we're just going to hold up our mana. If we attack and he blocks and has a combat trick, we can blow him out with Run Aground, so I guess we'll attack him for 3. Unless he has a combat trick and a negate, which I'm not going to put him on. If he has negate, he has negate. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. Whew, that was worrisome. In retrospect, maybe that attack wasn't worth it, I guess. Because we were going to make a 3-3. We're just going to hold these in our hand and make land creatures. Okay. Gleaming barrier. No, he mills it. Okay, make a 3-3. Keep holding up stuff and making our lands bigger. I think we'll try to go all in on one land, maybe. Make it a very scary land. We'll hold up Hornswoggle. Perilous Voyage, you say? Okay. He's just trying to scry. Let's see where he scries. You put 2 on the bottom. We'll make this into a 6-6. Lands are very good draws here. We don't need to play our Shorekeeper yet. Just hold up Hornswoggle, hold up our Waker. Make sun while the hay is shining. No. Wow, I said that very wrong. Make sun. I almost said it wrong. Make hay while the sun is shining. That's how that saying goes. I said it completely backwards. I think we'll start making a second land now that we have a 6-6. It gives us nice threat of activation in combat. We'll hit him for 6 now. Bouncing his own guy. Ha, non-land permanent, that's funny. Sure, that was good for us. I don't know why it makes sense why he didn't do it on something else, but that's not a problem. We're going to save our Hornswoggle for if he has a creature that we just can't beat, or some like bomb. Hit him for 14. Waker of the Wilds is not a fair card, but this format has a lot of unfair cards. Feels bad now, man, but at least it can still serve as a land. It's now relegated to land duty. We'll make this guy kind of big, I guess. We'd rather make our guy into a 4/4 immediately so we can attack through this, so next turn we'll be able to make a 4/4. And now this threatens lethal. Sea legs, a land. The land has sea legs, but it's an island. That's not a flavor win. How can an island have... Yeah, the waves pick up. Who cares about waves? I'm a land. Lands don't care about waves. We'll just keep holding up our... Oh yeah, so we won the match. On the back of our seasick land. Our seasick island. Never heard of that one before. Okay. That should say pirates or islands get +2/+0, so that the flavor win can actually... So that it can't be like such a flavor fail. I still like the main deck Shaper Apprentices, even though we've been boarding them out. Because we could play against them super aggro deck. It's frustrating that the match we lost, we probably could have won if we'd had... I mean, we had a bad 7-card hand because we only had one land, and then we messed up on the bouncing thing. I think we could have won if we'd bounced it. And also if we hadn't animated the wrong land. I just got stuck with cards in hand that I couldn't use for too long. I would like to play first. This is a keeper. It's not a pretty keeper, but we can get an island for this. We have a 2-drop for defense. I guess this hand's fine. We don't really need to play our Gleaming Barrier on curves. We're just going to use this opportunity to get an island. Decides to not do something. Maybe he was going to go for the naturalize on my amulet and thought better of it. Though if he has naturalize, he can now naturalize my Gleaming Barrier. We don't have double blue yet, which is a bit of an unfortunate circumstance, but if this makes us a treasure, we can cast our secrets. Thunder Herd Migration. Oh, that's what he was trying to cast. Okay. So he's playing Naya Dinos, it looks like. Fires are pretty good against dinos in general, I think. We'll play our forest. No need to show him that we have white yet. And Spirewinder, we are at 6 permanents. I wish there was a little counter on the screen, like the storm count thing on Magic Online, except it was for a permanent count. Oh, okay. I'm going to play Shaper Apprentice. And I'm not going to Luminous Bonds that. It's just, dinosaurs can have much scarier things. Like, if he plays a Dreadmaw here, I really need to Luminous Bonds it. I already have a blocker for Suncrested. Now I may have to get rid of it. 3/6 flyers do work. Oh dear, this... I mean, he's trading 3 for 2, so I guess it doesn't necessarily mean he has a follow-up play, but there are a lot of scary follow-up plays. That one's terrifying, but... Oh no, his deck looks very good. So there's land, we'll play our Shorekeeper. We don't have any flyers that can really tango with that. So I kind of just want to get rid of it. So he only has 2 cards in hand. He probably would have cast something big if he had it. And this helps me get my permanent count up. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have the City's Blessing now if I play it correctly, if I just cast my secrets before combat. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I even have a block available with this because it'll make a treasure, so I'll still have 10. And this is going to be pretty good in a couple turns. Draw me a couple cards. Weird flavor text. Over their long lifespans, the larger trilobites accumulate vast treasure troves in their guts. Who thinks of that flavor text? They probably like Googled what a trilobite did. Like, oh, let's Google trilobites. Ah, trilobites eat treasure. Let's just put in that snippet on the flavor text. So, not in the greatest spot, but we do have a draw 3 in our hand, so that'll help us find gas. And then we'll be able to draw 3 the turn after that, probably. Thing to do. He's casting another Thunderherd, which means he doesn't really have anything in hand unless he has a Zacama. Which would just be brutal. That would be like turn 7 Zacama. Though I guess he could have cast Zacama if he had it, and given it haste. So he doesn't have Zacama, I hope. I mean, he doesn't have Zacama. He would have cast it if he had it. So we're going to have to play a bit faster this game. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. A weird crash from MTGO there. So this is one. I'm going to play my land first just to ensure I have the blessing. And that's pretty good. This will give my other Shaper Apprentice flying, so I can now attack him for 2. And then next turn I can hold up Shorekeeper and crack that. Gonna be pretty good, I think. Pterodon Knight. Frustrating. Unfortunate. That was a good draw. I think I'll just crack Shorekeeper this turn, though, and hold up my other stuff. If he attacks, I trade back for 4. Ah, no, it's a 3/3. He can give it haste, but I can just block. And I can also block with this. Wild. He's willing to trade 3 damage for 4 damage. Interesting. That's great for me. 3 spells, and then we drew the land we wanted. So these essentially cost 2 mana, so playing land for sure. 4, 8, 9. So we can go 2, 4, 6, 9. So we can play all of them. We'll maintain the trade. He doesn't have any cards in hand, so. Sailor. I counted very poorly there. Yeah, we just get to play one sailor. Alongside our Spirewinder. And then we can expect, if he tries to hold back Pterodon Knight to block, we can put it on top of his deck. Oh my gosh. The way he was tapping made me think he had Zakama. Okay, that's not the worst. We'll just double block with our Gleaming Barrier and our Sailor. This is 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll get to play another Sailor. Oh, that was a great draw. So let's go attack with all our flyers. Expel that, so we know what he's drawing, so now we just win the game. Library. He doesn't have any dinosaurs to get back with Adjuvants here. He doesn't have damage to kill me because it's 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm at 14. Play my Sailor. Yeah, that's game. Okay. Final game of the day, hopefully. Looking for another 2-1. Cancel could be good against his expensive stuff. He has fight spells, so dive down could be interesting, but probably not. Run aground could be good. I think these are the top contenders. I think I'll cut my Shaper Apprentices for these two. Shaper Apprentice was good that game, but that was only because I drew my other copy of it, so I had both. Ooh, turn 3 Siren Reaver. Let's go. We're going to keep this. This is a pretty good hand. Pretty easy. Just Ixali's Diviner here. Our Traveler's Amulet is going to find us our planes. Though we don't need to find a land right now, so we're... Oh, he doesn't have a third land, maybe? Oh, that's unfortunate for him. Three, 2 flyer is going to be pretty good on this board. We're going to play our island. So, looks like he's just... If he doesn't hit a land this turn, he's probably in very bad shape. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, he just concedes. Well, that's going to do it for this draft video. Sorry for the lag in the middle, and that last match wasn't insanely exciting, but it happens. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to click that thumbs up and subscribe to get more updates for whenever I post new content. If you have any comments about the draft or the gameplay, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Also, let me know whether you preferred the YouTube-specific draft video or whether you would rather have just YouTube videos from my stream, and I will try to accommodate you if you let me know. If you'd like to catch me streaming live, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. There will be a link to it down in the description down below. If you would like to connect with me on social media, you can find me on Twitter. Tweet me at NicolaiBolas. I post there whenever I go live, whenever I have a 3.0 deck list, and whenever I have a new YouTube video. Well, but that's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.